Okay, so before we start episode 21 of the podcast this week, I figured we would address the big talking point of the world going on right now, that being the recent protests and riots that have been ongoing all throughout not just this country, but pretty much around the entire world. And obviously, this is a wrestling podcast where you guys come to listen to us discuss about the things we like and not like in the wrestling landscape, hear us cut it off each other's heads the best way we can, and you probably are looking to escape the world and everything going on for a little bit by listening to us and our content, and we absolutely appreciate that. But I felt that this just can't go without us giving our takes on it because it transcends all of that, plain and simple. We have a platform with this show that we can use to address certain issues and reach out to others who are listening. And we're damn well going to take full advantage of that. And before we get into it, the fact that this is even an issue in 2020 seems unfathomable, but here we are. So as you all know, there's been civil unrest following the tragic incident involving George Floyd, a black man in his 40s who was killed in broad daylight after having a white cop, while with 3 other officers accompanying him, press his knee on his neck for almost 9 full minutes and prevented him from breathing, resulting in him dying right then and there. Now, these scumbags have since been given criminal charges, including the cop who directly killed Floyd, and he received a charge of murder in the 2nd degree. Before all that was made official, though, protests and riots popped up all over the country, from over in Brooklyn, here in New York, New Orleans, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and Georgia. All these big notable areas in the country. These protests have been mostly peaceful, with the protesters of all races marching out and spreading the message of peace and love for Black lives, and that discrimination and segregation should not be a thing in our society. Again, the fact that we're talking about this in the year 2020 is just disgusting to me. Sad to say that the government was not too kind to see this overtaking our society, and cue the many, many instances of police brutality, where you had police officers of those cities just relentlessly assault all these peaceful protesters with use of physical force, their batons, tear gassing the protesters, shooting rubber bullets in order to bring them down. Just disgusting acts of authority figures believing that they have full power over citizens.
Yeah, with protests, with peaceful protests that's going on, it made a significant change throughout the whole world, right? My condolences to George Floyd and his family, but I want to also do a shout out to George Floyd's daughter, that she made the significant words, "My daddy changed the world." That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Many countries around the world united, all 50 states united to end police brutality towards minorities and towards Black people like us, right? Police, the 4 men that's been charged for George Floyd's murder, has all been charged, and hopefully they get a lengthy period of time in jail, hopefully life, and stuff like that, so justice will be served. And also many more justices will come to pass, when, like Breonna Taylor, since her birthday was yesterday, rest in peace to her. Aubrey Graham. I mean, not Aubrey Graham. I'm sorry, I said Aubrey Graham. I'm sorry. Ahmaud Arbery, that got gunned down while he was jogging. So it's very, very dangerous for Black people to be here in this country. We got to fight for our lives. We've been fighting for 400 years, ever since Rodney King, right? So we're still going to continue to fight to this day, right? No matter what, until justice is served. And for Donald Trump to maneuver his way to view it differently, he truly doesn't understand the aspect of what's going on. And it's a president who doesn't understand what's going on. If he doesn't understand what's going on, then I'm sorry to tell you this, but get out the country. No, we don't know you, right? And hopefully everything will be better from here on out. And I just want to say this, just to end my argument, just to end my case right here. Everybody, especially in the NFL, owes an apology to Colin Kaepernick, because Colin Kaepernick was the first true athlete that saw this from 2014 about police brutality, who mentioned it since day one, who does not have a job in the NFL as an NFL quarterback, who's clearly better than multiple quarterbacks today in the NFL, led a movement first, and nobody is more validated to speak on police brutality in this country, in the world, more than him, because he saw it first. No one believed him, and now it's now come to pass that police brutality is taking an all-time high, and they all dismissed on what he said. They owe him an apology. They owe an apology. They should support him for the rest of his life, and most importantly, he deserves a job in the NFL.
I personally don't believe a lot of people in this country still see the issues that are subjected to this whole Black Lives Matter movement. And that's one thing that I do want to say, is that this podcast does fully back up the Black Lives Matter movement in every single way, because unless Black Lives Matter, all lives do not matter. There have been this whole entire pandemic has opened our eyes, and now we're taking on a whole revolution, and I'm really hoping that this country changes for the better, as in lieu of everything that's been happening. Let's call it what it is. It's not just killings, it's public lynchings, which is still taking place. And it's not just the few names that we just named. It's not just George Floyd, Arbery, Breonna Taylor. It's a bunch of people. It's almost been every week, you're seeing something happen on police brutality to some innocent person. And I think it's very important for people to understand that a lot of these things that are happening, especially with the rioting and the looting, and yes, looting is bad. I'm not saying anything against it, but the focus isn't about rioting or looting. It's about changing the system. People are mad, people are angry, and I think we should hold accountable our government and let them know, unless they're changing the system to benefit every single person that lives in this country, people are going to keep doing what they're doing, and this fight isn't going to be over until the change happens and we see it.
In terms of this situation as a whole, it's a really big step that not only the United States, but other countries like Italy, London, and every other country around the world is taking a stand about this situation. And the fact that we finally got all 4 officers charged. We finally got all 4 officers charged about the death of George Floyd. That's the first step. Then the second step will be the trial, and then the final step will be the conviction. Right?
Rich, I think
I'm glad at the fact that they finally took a stand about this. But in terms
Some technical difficulties here. Rich, you there?
I think he's having technical difficulties. Yeah, he's having technical difficulties for sure.
All right, so if that's the case, we're just pretty much going to wrap it up here with this discussion. For me to sum this all up, it was a long time coming. Plain and simple. And clearly this is, I will gladly admit that this is not my place to say all this, as I am not black and I know I will never truly understand, but I will do everything I can to make sure that I can help those who need to have their voices heard. So if anyone listening honestly didn't think something like all these riots and protests demanding real change would happen, then you clearly haven't been paying enough attention. This is far from the first time that we have seen an obvious and blatant display of superiority from one race over another in this country, and something has got to give this time. Hopefully Richard is back in with no difficulties this time. And this appears to be the breaking point for our society, and I'm glad that we have decided to finally take action and make our voices heard for the better. No one on the show obviously condones what happened, and hopefully you guys are able to contribute and donate any way you can. So those are our thoughts on that. Welcome to episode 21 of the Wrestling Hypothesis podcast for your Saturday, June 6, 2020. Hope you're all doing well. I am the ABA, of course. Joining me as always is Richard.
Hello, everyone.
All right, so he's doing good. Ricardo.
What's up, y'all?
And the first lady of the show, the lovely Tara, with her beautiful cats.
Sterling. Hi, beautiful people. And
yeah, so as you guys know, this podcast is available to listen to on various different podcast platforms out there, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Breaker, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. So give us a subscribe over on our YouTube channel to make sure that you are all kept up to date for any bonus content coming your way. If you're listening via Apple Podcasts, please be sure to give us a star rating as well as some thoughts on what you think of our show. It could be praise, constructive criticism, whatever. You can like our official page over on Facebook to keep up with the latest updates on the podcast, as well as leaving us a review on there if you so choose. And lastly, if you haven't done so already, you can check out episodes 1 through 20 using any of the aforementioned platforms I just mentioned, as well as visiting our own website, anchor.fm/wrestling-hypothesis. So we're going to be kind of staying on the subject of the whole Black Lives Matter movement with this news story that pertains to pro wrestling. And that is, and honestly, this was a funny development that was revealed to the wrestling community in a rather bizarre way. Earlier this week, in the midst of everything that has been going on, Linda Hogan, Hulk Hogan's ex-wife, took to Twitter and decided to post the following: "Watching the looting, it's all Afro-Americans, not sure how robbing and stealing set the record straight, but if they want to be heard, they need to be civilized." You know, she apparently thought that was a sensible thing to tweet out at that moment, I guess. And one person who did not appreciate her honesty was AEW President Tony Khan, who replied with the following: "You've now joined your husband in being banned from all AEW shows. Congratulations." So through this, we now know that Hulk Hogan is indeed prohibited from going to any AEW events. And, you know, if we're being honest, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out why this is the case at all. If we look back not too far off into 2015, just a few years ago, WWE basically blacklisted Hogan and his name from the record books and their entire history after his racist comments were leaked to the public from over a decade earlier. Removed from the Hall of Fame, not mentioning any of his iconic moments and matches in his prime for a time there, his existence was removed from their history completely. And they were in the right at the time for doing that and not wanting to associate themselves with him. And think about this, that was one of the biggest stars in pro wrestling history. He practically made the WWE in the 80s. That goes to show that you are held in the same standard as everyone else with your actions, and rightfully so. Now, of course, it didn't last too long before they were going back to referencing Hogan and name dropping him, before going back to glorifying him entirely like they do from time to time right now. And, you know, to this day, people are still divided on their stance on Hulk Hogan, and rightfully so. And Tony Khan has since come out to explain why Hogan has been banned by saying that, and I quote, "I've told people that I can't work with Hulk Hogan. How can I look my black friends, football players, employees in the face, or myself in the mirror after the things he said, and he has never given an adequate apology for?" You know, I do not blame Tony Khan one bit for not wanting to associate himself or AEW with this guy. As, you know, he's not going to be one to be pushing numbers the way someone like Chris Jericho would, because Hogan's not going to be going back to the ring anytime soon, nor do people want to see that happen.
well, I feel like well, one, what she said was like way out of order, and I think it's pretty much justified on why they would, block her from even or ban her from coming in. That is really disgusting. From like hearing that is really, really disgusting.
The comment itself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's so crazy because that's exactly why I addressed it in what I said. A lot of people are talking about like that looting and rioting, and that's all they're like tied in. And I feel like that shows that, you really don't give a shit, and you don't really grasp what's really happening or what the cause of everything is. So for her, I really think that I really hope that she opens her eyes or something happens, but I hope she's banned from so many other things that actually affects her world other than this, because that was just very disgusting.
Linda Hogan is a nobody, flat out. Linda Hogan is a flat out
nobody.
Because without the name Hogan, we wouldn't know who the hell she is. We wouldn't know who the hell she is. Okay, Linda Hogan addressed about the riots that went down last week about what happened to George Floyd. What she has to understand is that Black people have been waiting for over 400 years to get justice, and they showed their anger and animosity due to the patience that they've been waiting for over 400 years for not getting the right justice that we deserve, right? With the protests and riots taking place at the time, they showed their frustration based on the government's, based on the lack of the justice system that they failed to do to taking place based on the specific crime due to that person that was killed, right? For Linda Hogan to say what she said, she's obviously blind, she's misinformed, she's uneducated based on the situation that's been going on for the past decade, since the start of Trayvon Martin, which has restarted everything, right? Trayvon Martin was the start. If there was a start button that started this whole thing, it was Trayvon Martin, right? So for Linda Hogan, I don't give a damn about Linda Hogan. I don't give a damn what she says about what, based on what she says about wrestling in general, because I could give 2 cents on what she thinks, because at the end of the day, she's a nobody. She's labeled herself as a racist. Still to this day, she's still a racist, despite whatever apology that she may have later on.
That apology is going to be fake as shit.
Exactly. The apology is going to be fake. I don't care. In terms of Hulk Hogan, again with him, I don't care. I was never a Hulk Hogan fan. I could care less about Hulk Hogan. That's why I'm an Austin fan. And I still think Austin will beat his ass any day of the week, right? So I could care less about the Hogans. I don't care what they do in terms of wrestling. They're not needed. They're not wanted. They're irrelevant.
Yeah, dude. Funny how you mentioned that her allegedly eventual apology that we're going to get from Linda is going to be just so fake. She probably learned that from her husband.
Like, seriously, who the fuck is Linda Hogan? Who the hell is she? Who are you?
Like, I literally got nothing else to say because Ricardo said everything right on the money. Like in terms of Linda Hogan, she said what she had to say, because when it comes to stuff in this industry or in general, whatever you say could come back to you and bite you in the ass. And look what happened. She said what she said, and now Tony Khan banned her and her husband to go to AEW and stuff like that. She repped what she has sown, okay? And the fact that she said this, and now sooner or later she's going to say a whole new apology. We're saying like, bitch, do not give us that because you said what you said and you can't take it back. And it is what it is, and now you have to deal with what you have to say. So the apology is going to be fake as hell. No one's going to care, not only for her, but also for Hogan as well, because it's not the first time the Hogans as a whole had dealt with stuff like this. Just like what Abba said back not too long ago, what Hogan said around 2015, how they stripped Hogan completely when he said that nasty comment, that nasty racist comment. And now 5 years later, they're doing it all over again. But this time it was the wife, not the husband. The wife was the one that said something. Hogan didn't. And now both of them are getting penalized for it. So for that, I agree with Ricardo 100%. Nobody cares.
I want to say this too. In terms of Hulk Hogan, he was smart enough not to say a word.
Oh, definitely.
He was smart
No
enough not
question.
to say a word because
he
if
dealt
you,
with it before.
yeah, exactly, because he learned from what happened, right, with WWE, and he is lucky.
He's lucky.
Is lucky that WWE brought him back.
He's
Okay,
lucky.
he would have because like.
Let's be honest. WWE were always going to bring them back. What was always going to bring him back into
No,
their
they just
into their
needed the
history
right.
books.
They just needed the right price point. That's all they needed. So,
Exactly.
Yep.
And time to go by so people can move on from that whole issue with him.
And plus, and not only that, and let's say if they didn't bring back Hogan, nobody would care either because there's much more bigger draws than Hogan today than he was.
and also, I just want to say, FYI, Linda Hogan, the looters and rioters, they're also Caucasian. They are.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of videos of Caucasian
Exactly.
people doing it.
But
as opposed to,
it just wasn't just African Americans. There was a lot of races that, like, a lot of different ethnicities that took part in that looting too.
Yes, including Caucasian, sis. So I don't know what
keep
you
in
mean
mind,
by that.
a lot of idiot teenagers are also taking advantage of all this looting and stealing from stores. They just like to lump it in together. These are kids out there who feel they have nothing better to do than to just take advantage of all the shit that's going on right now. They want in on the fun. They're not in it for the cause. So and unfortunately, we're getting the Black Lives Matter movement is getting lumped in with that.
Exactly.
And that shouldn't be the case.
Next time, bitch, do your homework with your dumb Asian looking ass.
Oh man. Moving right along here with AEW Dynamite from this past week, we're going to be going over the show a little bit differently than we have been the past few months. Whenever we would get to this point of the show. So, show started off with Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page successfully defending their tag team titles against Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc. Match was good, if not a little too predictable, given that Sabian and Havoc were never going to win here. It was just not going to happen. But they retained. Omega and Hangman did. Now, I wanted to bring this topic up with you guys regarding Omega and Page. And that is, do you guys think that their title run at this point is getting stale?
To me, no. I don't think so. Because Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, I think it's the best team in AEW right now. That's just me. They're the best team because you have two elite singles competitors together and they can be functioning as a well-balanced team. Right? Now, in terms of their title reign, it's not their fault because of the coronavirus epidemic. It's not their fault. We would not be talking about this question if it wasn't for the coronavirus. Like we said before, the coronavirus fucked up everything. Everything, no matter the storylines, in terms of all wrestling promotions, basketball, football, the whole 9 yards. It fucked up everything. So technically their title reign is not their fault. I'm pretty confident that if it wasn't for the coronavirus, I'm pretty confident that they might either A, still be tag team champions, or B, they might still go after the tag team champions, even if they lose it, right? But to me, I don't think it's been stale. I think it's been pretty solid, and besides, they're gonna face best friends pretty soon.
Yeah, Fyter Fest next month.
Exactly, they're gonna face best friends pretty soon, and their last real title defense, they fought the Young Bucks. And it was a great match, very great match between those two and the Young Bucks. So in terms, to me, I don't think it's been stale. I think it's just right. I have no problems with their title reign.
Anyone want to take that?
I don't see anyone else holding the titles that could take it from them for right now, with everything that's been going on. So I don't think it's stale. I think, well, the thing is though, like I feel like personally for me, wrestling is kind of stale right now because of this whole pandemic. So I don't think it's anything to do with them. However, like I think the match that is coming up for Fyter Fest is going to be pretty interesting. So I think for now it's pretty cool. Like I'm okay with it.
Do I think that their championship reign has been stale? Not really, honestly, because every single time that they defended the titles, is always a pay-per-view quality match all the time. And with Fyter Fest coming up, especially the fact that Fyter Fest, we're going to get it for free on TV. We're going to get a whole nother level to of in-ring action, especially with best friends and Omega and Page, the fact that these two teams has never fought each other. So that's going to be interesting. In terms of later on, because after Fyter Fest, most likely it is All Out. I do think that for Omega and Page, this is just my opinion. I could be wrong. I think they're going to lose the tag titles at All Out. Because the team, in my opinion, that should take the titles away from them is FTR. Because even, huh?
I'm sorry, Richard. I gotta stop you right there. You're predicting that they might lose the titles later on, but do you agree, or do you think that their title reign is stale? Do you think it's stale?
I already said no. I already said that. I already said no.
Okay.
I said no, but I do think by All Out they're gonna lose the belts.
Okay. I disagree with you about the team though. I think it's gonna be a different team, but okay.
That's just I could be wrong. A lot of things could happen between now and September.
Definitely.
A lot. So, and plus you never know what other team they might sign in AEW by September, or any other new thing that might come by when All Out comes on. But like I said, I could be wrong. I'm assuming that I'm actually predicting that they will lose the tag titles by All Out.
Okay. We will see what happens, but for me, I think their title reign has been pretty good.
Yeah, and just to give my take on it, I actually am now in the same boat as you guys on that stance. I really don't think their title reign is getting stale at this point.
It's not stale because it's not their fault.
Yeah, exactly. COVID-19 and the ongoing pandemic right now, it kind of screwed everything up in the sense that we really haven't seen them in action in a tag team sense for a while, especially Hangman, who we haven't been seeing much of at all, heading right until this past pay-per-view with Double or Nothing. We've pretty much been seeing Omega do his thing with by himself, solo, with Matt Hardy when he debuted. So he had a good amount of roles to fill, a lot of shoes to fill in the time that Hangman wasn't able to be there and they weren't able to become proper tag champs. So that kind of screwed everything up. And honestly, that's kind of the premise of why I was kind of on the fence about this about this topic, I should say. But yeah, I agree with all your points. You guys made very good points there. It's kind of like, it's just a case of bad timing with the ongoing pandemic. It didn't exactly help their case. But yeah, I am really looking forward to Fyter Fest and their match with the Best Friends. I think that could be a possible show stealer, if we're being honest. Because Omega and Page are great, and Chuck Taylor and Trent are no slouches themselves. They've proven to be one of the more consistent tag teams in the world right now. After that, we had Brian Cage squashing Sean Dean, his second squash in a row on Dynamite. Taz got on the mic and mocked Jon Moxley after the match, telling him to beat Cage if he can and survive if he lets you. Moxley came out at that point, grabbed the mic, and warned. What happened?
My man Taz. I remember the kids don't know.
He's doing a really, really good job. He's knocking out of the park with these promos we've seen.
I'm telling you.
Moxley came out right after that, grabbed the mic, and warned both Cage and Taz that they are swimming with a shark that is unlike anything they've ever had to deal with before. And he drops the mic and heads out, all as a way of building up their championship match at Fyter Fest next month. Now, we mentioned the last couple times on the show, about whether Brian Cage should be getting a title opportunity this soon into his run with AEW, and whether or not this program will be compelling in time for the match. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but as for me, just off the promo we've seen Taz and Moxley cut as of late, they have done adequately enough for me to want to see this unfold already. And they got a full month left to build. So if they keep this up and keep elevating the storyline the way they're doing it, it can be something memorable.
Okay. Here's the thing. I sort of disagree with you. I'm 50-50 on that. Because I do agree with you about Taz and Jon Moxley elevating the rivalry. I'll give you that. I completely agree with that, right? But here's how I also disagree with you. you got to make the competitor that's fighting Jon Moxley a noteworthy competitor. So far, Brian Cage has been fighting no names.
Right.
He's been fighting no names. Now, if you want to elevate Brian Cage as a world title contender or a well-balanced competitor, you have to make him face actual competition, like real competition. Like, for example,
I mean, I think that'll come in due time. Like, we have over a month left before the title match, so I think they're going to give Cage some worthy names.
But here's what I mean. They gave Brian Cage an opportunity too early with that ladder match, right? They rushed it with the ladder match, and the fact that you're currently right now in a rivalry with Jon Moxley, you're not really showcasing your worth because you're fighting no names. Like, now, if he was fighting names like a Chris Jericho, a Jon Moxley, or MGF, and he actually beats them, okay, now we're talking. You see what I'm saying? Because he's elevated.
But you could argue that they're doing their own thing, all those names you mentioned, because they need momentum themselves for their storylines.
I understand that, but we're talking about adding momentum to Brian Cage by fighting worthy competition. But right now he's fighting no names. So the fact that he's fighting no names, his cachet is not really elevating. It's just that it's just a guy fighting Jon Moxley for the world title, and we know the prediction about that. But it would have been different if he fought worthy competition and then fight Jon Moxley. You were like, now we look at him differently, and they're like, okay, we see what's going on. His cachet is being elevated with a person like Taz, elevating his cachet as being his mouthpiece. Now we have something different going on, and that's what I'm saying. It would have been different if Brian Cage fought noteworthy competition on his way to fighting for the world title.
No one got anything to add?
So for Brian Cage and Jon Moxley, like, I don't know if I'm the only one here. I could be wrong. But I know they're doing the best that they can, but I'm not sold in this title feud. I'm not, because, like, yeah, Brian Cage got the number one contendership at Double or Nothing, and I know that Jon Moxley's been champion, but, like, there's nothing that's gravitating towards me for this feud to happen.
Because we're pretty much hot-shotting Brian Cage so soon after debuting.
Yeah.
He hasn't had any big wins or big storylines to sink his teeth into. This is his first big one.
Let me help you out. Richard is agreeing what I said.
Yeah. Like, I'm not
agreeing what I said.
Like, what? Like, this feud between these two is, like, missing something. Like, yeah, both of these guys are cutting promos, but I'm like, yo, you guys, like, you're missing something.
Hey, Tara, what you think? Do you agree with me as well?
Well, yeah, I was thinking the same thing, that he needs to get a name in before he faces Moxley. He doesn't, I don't know, it's kind of just, I don't really care about Brian Cage.
See? Because, like, no, because seriously, like, the reason why I'm saying this is because this is not the first time that Moxley, even before in AEW, this is not the first time that Moxley has been in a feud in which the people is not really gravitating towards it. You see what I'm saying?
What was the last one?
To my recollection, like, okay.
Like, who was the last person who was the last person that he faced, and we knew that he was going to be the winner, but we didn't care about his competitor? Who was that? Because I don't remember that time.
No, I'm not talking about competitor. I'm talking about him being in a rivalry that's not really gravitating enough towards the fans. I'm not talking about his opponent.
That's what I just said.
Like, you'll have to go back to WWE. Like,
nope. That's why I stopped right there. We're not talking about WWE. We're talking about Jon Moxley.
I even said about his time in WWE. I said that too.
But here's the thing. In WWE, that was on WWE. It wasn't on Jon Moxley. They forced Jon Moxley in WWE to face competitors that they had to help him. That they had to help him in WWE. This is different. That's why I'm excluding WWE. It doesn't even count. As of right now, Brian Cage does not have enough cachet in his repertoire he did not face competition enough to face.
The only thing is there's
Jon
really no one for him to face that can take a loss right now.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like they really don't have anything. Because I was gonna say the only other person that they can try is what is Luke Harper's new name?
Brody Lee.
I was gonna say Brody Lee, but then he can't even take a loss because he just took the L from Moxley. I mean, other than that, like, who else is he gonna go against?
I mean, I would just propose
in.
You would just have him beat multiple mid-card names along the way, like a Joey Janela or Colt Cabana, because anything's better than Brian Cage en route to his title match. Because those are at least names we know
Wardlow.
and have won matches themselves. What was that?
What about Wardlow?
No, I don't know about Wardlow because you don't want to have him. You don't want to beat him so soon.
Yeah,
it could be like a match before Moxley because he's still pretty high up there, but he doesn't he could take an L.
Yeah, but I feel like he needs to face a competitor. I agree with you about a person taking the L, but I think it should be a different person. I'm talking about if you want to actually look us like, if you want to make sure that us fans view Brian Cage as a title holder,
right?
You got to make him work. And I feel like the one person that can make him work is your guy, Kenny Omega. If Kenny Omega faces
Tara seems unsure about that.
I'm talking about making Brian Cage look good, but at the same time making him work. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Brian Cage should definitively beat Kenny Omega.
The point is to make him look like $1 million while at the same time not hurting the other person.
I just feel like he needs to face better competition, not against no names. That's it.
The thing is, Kenny Omega can literally make he can make a person off the street look like he is the best wrestler in the world.
You can make a broomstick look good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's
the only thing is though, like, the storyline just ain't there. Like, what is he gonna face? That's why, like, even if he was to do it, like, it would be like, oh, okay, that's a great match, but where's the correlation to the title?
What I would say that needs to happen is that, like,
it has to be someone with no story that's high up there. And
it's not even that.
Darby Allin?
No, he's taking too much L's in life.
Not
true.
What I was gonna say is that for Moxley and Cage, kind of now, like, there needs to be physicality between these two, like, to build up the rivalry, because they've been now talking.
A small fight.
Huh?
Like a small fight.
Yeah, like there needs to be physicality between these two, because all they've been doing is talking. I'm like, yo, when are you guys going to talk? I mean, when are you guys going to, like, throw hands? So, because, like we understand Fyter Fest is coming up extremely soon, and it's like they only have, like, 2 weeks left to build.
Yeah, but the thing is, that seems forced. Like, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with it, but it seems forced. Like, because, like, right now, I was like, it's low-key too little. I won't say too little, too late.
It's not too little. It's not too little.
I agree.
It's not too little, too late, especially the fact you literally have 2 weeks left to build this. And the first.
But what I'm saying is that because the thing is, we don't know when Jon Mox is going to be on a show. That's what I'm saying. And, like, so it's unpredictable. So you say you have 2 weeks. What makes you think Jon Mox might not be there next week? And next thing you know, you got 1 week to build. You see what I'm saying? So technically it depends on on Jon Moxley's availability. The best ability is availability. Brian Cage's been there every week. Jon Moxley hasn't.
Jon Moxley has.
He has.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about, like, periodically.
He's has.
Hold up. Well, for the rivalry, for this specific rivalry, he hasn't really done much. It's just been Brian Cage and Taz. Right?
I mean, what do you exactly want him to do to be satisfied, Moxley? I mean, he cut a promo against Brian Cage and Taz just this past week. He got called out from the
Yeah.
announcers booth the week before that. He got called out. Like, I think it's so far it's okay. I got no
Like,
problems. I got no issues.
No, I'm not saying John Moxley to do stuff. I'm talking about Brian Cage.
We're talking no question. We got that out of the way. Brian Cage definitely needs to be doing more to justify getting a title shot this soon. But I thought we were talking about just John Moxley, so that's why I was trying to defend him there.
No, John Moxley cool. He cool.
Okay.
He good.
Yep. And in the main event of the show, we had Cody successfully defended his TNT Championship against Jungle Boy in the main event of this week's episode of Dynamite. Very heated match, surprisingly heated too, especially towards the end. We had Cody sporting a crimson mask, as that has been his thing now with every big match he seems to be a part of these days. Jungle Boy gave it his all, and I thought he had a great performance here, but in the end, Cody retains. Kind of overkill, not going to lie, what they did post-match with their friends coming out applauding the two and Pyro going off to end the show this week. But it was whatever. But this actually brings up a nice talking point that I wanted to mention here with you guys. Do you guys, I don't know why, I've just been comparing a lot between Cody's current TNT Championship reign with Jon Moxley's AEW World Title reign. Do you guys think that Cody's TNT title reign and what he's been doing as of these past few weeks since winning the title already better and eclipsing Jon Moxley's world title reign?
No.
Because
can I go first?
I'm first, then it's Tara, then it's you. I got you, bro.
Yeah, but sometimes do that, Kenny. You always ask Kenny to go first. I'm asking you.
Emphasis on ask, and the answer is no. I love you, but no. But like, anyway, in terms of Cody Rhodes, he only had one title defense. One. I do agree with you, Alba, that it was overkill on the very end. That was not needed. I agree with you on that one, right? He only had one title defense for the TNT Championship, right? I need to see more from the TNT Championship from that aspect, right? So to say that his title reign defenses is almost, or if not better than Jon Moxley, no. Because Jon Moxley has faced way more competition for that title, fought harder for that title by far, and there's more competition for the AEW World Title. After the TNT World Title, for the TNT Championship, I'm sorry.
No, I made that mistake. I made that same mistake too. You're good.
It's okay. Yeah, I feel you. You see, for Cody Rhodes, it's like pick and choose. It's pick and choose. People are not really fighting for it. And shout out to my boy Mark Quinn going after that TNT Championship. Much love to you, bro.
Yeah, I got something to say about that once we're done with this topic, but go ahead.
Yeah, private party, my guys. But shout out to him going after the TNT Championship. Anyway, for Cody Rhodes, it's pick and choose. There's not really a lot of people actually fighting for that TNT Championship just to earn it for the number one contender spot, as it is for the AEW World Title, for the ranking system. And the ranking system is key to me. I still feel this way about the ranking system. That is much more needed, especially for title opportunities.
You can go, Richard, before me.
Thank you. The reason why Cody Rhodes, to me, what Ricardo said is spot on about how Jon Moxley has more competitors. Not only that, but in terms of Cody Rhodes, the reason why that it hasn't been much more successful than the AEW Heavyweight Championship is obviously he's picking and choosing, but also he doesn't have that one real rival that could compete for his belt. Like that one true rival. Like, yeah, you're picking and choosing to elevate the title. That's fine. But there's a certain point in which, we need that one person that could rival with you for a couple of weeks or months ahead of time for the belt. Right? Like when John Cena did it, yes, he picked and chose, but at the same time, he had a one person to fight for the belt, and that person was Kevin Owens back when Cena was champion. Now for Cody, he could pick and choose, but after a while, he's going to find that one person to fight legitimately for the belt for a long, lengthy period of time. And plus, I think it's going to be MJF because MJF teased it this past Wednesday. He said to Jungle Boy's face, "Oh, like you should not deserve to fight for the belt. It should be me, not you, facing Cody for that belt. Who the hell do you think you are?" That's where I'm going with this. I think that Cody needs to have like that one true rival. I think it's going to be MJF to fight for the belt and to also add much more cachet to the belt to make it feel like it's much more important.
Go Tara. Before I go Tara.
Well, what I was gonna say is, I mean, it's only been a few weeks. I mean, I'm still giving this belt some kind of like leverage to still be established as being a mid-carder, because essentially that's what it is. It's a mid-carder belt. They still need to build it up, and they can't rush it. Like, I mean, remember how WWE, I'm gonna go back to WWE. Remember how WWE tried to force that 24/7 belt on us, and they tried to make it important way too, well, not important, but they tried to force it on way too soon.
They're trying to make it more relevant.
Yeah, I feel like they're slowly doing that. But I mean, I think right now its expectations are way too soon for us to like put it anywhere near as the title that's been around for like a year and some change.
Yes, I agree with. And that was a great point what you brought up for the 24/7 title. But I'm gonna get back to what Richard said, and based on what happened on Dynamite. Did MJF literally? I'm asking Richard a question. MJF said that he might go after the TNT title. Did he say that?
No, he said during the match to Jungle Boy that you don't deserve to face Cody for the TNT championship because he got up into his face. It should not be you. It should be me facing him because he said like.
I get it. I'm saying this to MJF. He better be listening to this podcast.
He won't roast the shit out of you.
No, he won't. No, he won't.
Yes, he will.
No, he won't. Listen.
MJF watching this podcast would be something, huh?
No, check this out. I need MJF to go after the world title. Okay? He's been in the mid card for a minute now, and he's elevated his own status based on his rivalry with Cody Rhodes back then to make himself a main event star. I view him as a main event superstar. Okay? He's too good and too great to go after that TNT title. Okay? He should go after the AEW World Championship. Okay? That's why I want him to go after. I don't want him to go after the TNT championship. I don't want you to demote yourself. MJF is one of the best wrestlers in the game in AEW. I want him to go after the AEW World Title. I want him to beat Jon Moxley, to beat a Kenny Omega and others. I want him to beat a Chris Jericho and others. I want him to be the AEW World Title. MJF, your boy Ricardo, and Kenny. I'm speaking for Kenny as well. I want him to go after the AEW World Title. Do not go after the TNT Championship. Okay? Beat Jon Moxley and dominate AEW. That's what I want him to do. Do not go after the TNT title. I swear to God, if you go after the TNT title, I'm going to lose it. I do not want him to go after the TNT title. I really don't want him to.
Now I really hope MJF is watching this.
I don't know. I think it might be too soon for him to be a title holder.
You mean just in general, or the world title holder?
A world title holder just for now. Like, I don't think he's ready right now.
I don't mind that he's ready right now. I just don't want him to go after the TNT title. I want him to go world title.
I mean, the TNT, him capturing the TNT title isn't bad in itself. It's a nice stepping stone.
The only thing is, I don't want to see him go against Cody again.
Exactly.
No, but the thing is this: they just updated the rankings for the AEW. I'm looking at it right now. They just updated the rankings. Ricardo's right because MJF is number 1 in the rankings.
Exactly. And my boy.
He's 6-0 this year.
Well, clearly the rankings don't matter because, well, they're just handing out title shots to everybody left and right.
Richard, is that ranking system for the AEW World Title?
Yeah, no, yes.
The
yes,
TNT.
Thank you.
Okay,
no.
Title.
No, I'm looking at it right now. They're looking at the top 5. MJF is first, then Archer, then Brody Lee, then Omega, and then Darby Allin's number 5.
For the world title.
World title, and then right next to it is the TNT title.
I don't care about the TNT title.
No,
I'm talking about world title.
But that's what I'm telling. No, but that's what I'm telling you. MJF is first, and then
that's
Archer.
what I'm talking about.
I don't
MJF
think
go after that world title.
I don't think he's ready for it, like to be passed on. But I don't think because AEW has still only been around for like a year, and there's only been one person that literally holds it over. He's still pretty fresh to the wrestling game. Like
just because time out.
He still needs some growth.
Time out. Just because he's fresh doesn't mean that his stature doesn't mean that he will go after the world title. I think he will go after the world title. My best bet that after Fyter Fest,
MJF is next.
Yeah, after Fyter Fest. After Fyter Fest is all out. You have 7 weeks to build after Fyter Fest. You have 7 weeks to build a match between Moxley and MJF at All Out for the AEW Championship. That's it, and it's doable.
And plus, the mic work between these two.
The mic work between these two will be fucking fantastic.
Ridiculous.
And also, another thing, if that match does happen, my money's on MJF. Seriously, my money's on MJF because Moxley has been good as champion, but
it's time for you to lose it, boy.
No, it's time for him to lose it. But that's what I'm saying. But I don't think that MJF is seasoned enough.
MJF.
No, I don't think he's seasoned enough to be a champion, in my opinion.
Why?
Wait.
Let her explain. Why?
Because he's still getting better, but he's not there yet. Like, he's still training. Like, he's basically he still needs to be seasoned some more before. He still needs to be seasoned some more.
What does he need to do more if he's undefeated and he's number one in the rankings?
I feel like he really needs to get better in the ring a little bit more.
Oh, okay. So basically, you're telling me that you think he's not ready to compete in a world.
I don't think he's ready to hold it down as champion for a wrestling company that's still trying to make it.
What? Oh, okay, hold on.
I can kind of see where she's coming from.
I see your point too.
I see what she's coming from too.
It's not. The company hasn't even been there for 5 years. Like, there's still.
I feel you.
You want unestablished names.
You still need someone to carry it down as your freaking
later on. You can definitely have the younger, newer, fresher guys.
I agree with Tara.
And then he doesn't deserve to be killed.
Hold on. Whoa. Time out.
Well,
hold on. I'll say that. I got this. Hold up. I agree with Tara in terms of the stature of AEW because it's only been a year. I completely agree with that. But let me tell you something right now. MJF is a person that will not be killed. Okay, he's one person. He's the one person that will take his own future and not let the AEW writers make him be killed. That's something that he will not do, and he's validated that on his rivalry with Cody. He's validated that. Okay, in terms of what he needs to do, he's number one in the ranking system for the AEW World Title. Richard just said that he's undefeated. He's 6-0. This year, exactly. He's 6-0. He's number one for the AEW. After Brian Cage, asking Tara this. Who's the one person that John Moxley should compete with that's better than MJF to go after the world title? And he's number one. Who?
I honestly don't know.
Thank you. Exactly.
But
the fact that you don't know is the reason why he should go after the AEW World Title. Because he's already an established talker by far. He's top 5 in my opinion. He's number 1 to me. He's already established talker. He's the one superstar in the game that could work with anybody to elevate the rivalry. Anybody, right? And he's undefeated. He's ready. He is ready. After Brian Cage is going to be MJF to go after the world title. If it's not MJF, I'm saying this right now. If it's not MJF after Brian Cage, I'm going on a fucking rant on a future episode of this podcast. Okay, I'm letting you know right now. It better be MJF after Brian Cage.
You listeners heard it here first. If that doesn't happen, Ricardo's going to be pissed.
I'll have the popcorn ready.
Yeah. I got to, yeah.
Because
No
his
butter,
rant is
please.
fucking
No butter
hilarious.
on mine, please.
I will. His rant is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we know. History has shown us before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Shout out to my boy. I can't believe I'm saying this. Shout out to my boy King Kenny. I'm holding this shit down for you, bro. And
Yes,
I
you
hate
are.
calling him by that nickname. I hate his nickname, but I have to say it.
It's established, dude. It has been long established by this point that he is indeed the king of the show. Now,
No, he's not.
record.
No, he's not. Okay? I only have to say that because of his nickname, but he's not the king of the show.
Oh shit. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he's got to say. But anyways, like Ricardo pointed out not too long ago, next week they have already announced Cody's next challenger for the TNT title. It'll be Mark Quinn of Private Party, which, good use of the ranking system there. Hopefully you guys can note the sarcasm, as Mark Quinn hasn't even been in the singles division this entire time, yet he's getting a title shot. I get it. It's open-ended. It's open field. Anything goes. But whoever accepts the challenge, it's theirs for the taking and all. But why have a ranking system to begin with? I just don't get that. We talked about this last week when Cody laid out that the open challenge idea for the TNT title. I don't get it. I just really don't. And with that, we're gonna conclude there with Dynamite talk for the week and move on to NXT Takeover in your house predictions. Of course, Takeover will be taking place Sunday night, which is tomorrow night at Full Sail University. While going through the match card and giving our predictions here, we'll try to incorporate our thoughts from NXT this past week, the Go Home show. First things first, we have Johnny Gargano going one-on-one with Keith Lee for the NXT North American Championship. Their significant others, Mia Yim and Candice LeRae, had a match on NXT this week. Went to a double count-up before both Gargano and Lee intervened, and they had a mixed tag match right then and there, which we all pretty much expected that would happen at some point. Candice won for her team after rolling up Yim while she was distracted for the win. As for the match, I think Gargano is going to be taking this one, as I feel that there is really no one else out there to beat Keith Lee and take his championship at the moment, at least in terms of having momentum enough to dethrone Lee and take his title right now. And he did pretty much run through everyone the past few months, from Dijakovic, Cameron Grimes, Damian Priest. And not for nothing, Johnny has momentum with this newfound persona alongside Candice LeRae, so I would not squash that at the moment.
I agree with you, Abba, that Gargano's going to win. I also pick him that to win the North American title. And this makes my point about what we discussed earlier. Remember when we talked about Brian Cage, about a litany of stars that he has to face to make his cachet better to compete for that world title. You just said Gargano fought Dominic. He fought Dominic Dijakovic. He fought, who else he fought?
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest and one more?
Well, no. I wasn't getting at Gargano beating those. I was saying Keith Lee ran through them when defending his title. So it's who else is in the field? But Gargano, yeah, he's had some wins lately.
Yeah,
under this new heel persona.
He had some wins. You see what I'm saying? He fought a multitude of stars leading up to the North American title to build his cachet. And that's what he's done. That's what he has earned. And he's going to win the North American title.
Yeah, all the momentum for the North American Championship is pretty much going straight over to Johnny Gargano, especially the fact that he just recently turned heel not too long ago. Keith Lee hasn't really done anything since Dijakovic. Yeah, since Dijakovic. And since all the momentum is going straight to Gargano, most definitely he's going to win. And plus, he just recently turned heel. So my pick to win is Gargano.
I'm going with Gargano as well.
Yeah, and I would not sleep on the match. Knowing these two and their body of work that we've seen from them lately, it's going to be something incredible. I would not be surprised if they steal the show.
Anyone sleeps on that match, you're a complete idiot.
Listen to Richard.
Mm-hmm.
We have Mia Yim, Tegan Knox, and Shotzi Blackheart teaming up against Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez in a 6-woman tag.
I have something to say about this.
So, just looking at Ricardo's face right now.
I have something to say about this. I'm with Ricardo on this, honestly.
Let me lay out the premise first. So this was added on the Go Home show this past week. I couldn't care less about this. I know that Knox and Shotzi have had an ongoing feud.
I'm sorry. Whoa. I'm sorry, Alba.
Go ahead.
I love women. Everybody knows that. I love women. Right? I don't give a fuck about these bitches though. Okay? I don't care. Okay? You're not gonna get any word from me about this match. Okay?
Well, you gotta give your prediction.
What prediction? What prediction? Who cares?
What do you think? You're too good for this match? Dude, we're laying out the predictions. Go ahead, take your pick.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. What's the match? Give it to me again.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Mia Yim, Tegan Knox, and Shotzi Blackheart against Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez.
Dakota's team wins. Boom. There you go.
Well, there you go.
Like, if I have to pick a team, obviously I will pick Dakota Kai's team as well. But my main thing is that why the hell is this match at TakeOver? Like, seriously, we already had. Like, seriously, this is when I found out on Wednesday that the announcers for TakeOver, I was like, why? Like, this could be done for next week's episode for NXT. I'm like,
yeah, I was thinking that if they really wanted to insert another match in there, a women's match that is for the show, I would have just had Mia Yim and Candice LeRae one-on-one.
Yeah, because
I think that would have low-key been a kick-ass match at a TakeOver event. I don't know why they didn't just go with that. I guess they wanted to insert all their cooks into one pot, you know?
I guess, like, honestly, this match does not need to happen at TakeOver. Like, I don't mind the match, but, like, it's not at TakeOver. It should be, like, for TV. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you first said that match, I was like, who? Who's going for what? Like,
you
what?
feel me?
I was like, wait, what?
Guys, it's pretty much a case of them just slipping it under there.
I was like, I need a
into
rewind.
the TakeOver card. Nobody would know, hoping that nobody would have the big deal, make a big fuss about it. Well, we are.
Sound like a big
No one's
bunch of
making a
randoms.
no one wants to make a big fuss about it because no one even knows who that is or who cares.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't even know that was on the card.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Richard, when was that? When was that on the card? Do you know?
Like, when they announced it?
Yeah.
The Go Home show.
That just passed.
Oh, Lord.
So they really snuck it in there. Yeah, hoping we would have noticed. It feels that way. But yeah, you know, I have the heels to win. Candice is in the same boat as Gargano, newfound persona that does not need to be losing right now. So I wouldn't squash that here. We have Finn Balor against Damian Priest. Should be a pretty good match between these two. Haven't really seen either of them wrestle lately on NXT, so this is probably why I'm not all that hyped for the match itself. But it should be great. I do have Finn to win here.
I got Finn Balor winning. I like Damian Priest personally because I like him as a wrestler. I like the way he portrays himself. But I got Finn Balor because too long. It would have been too long of him. It was too long for us to see him win at a TakeOver, at an NXT TakeOver show. It's been a minute. Let's be honest with you.
Well, how long has it been since the TakeOver event?
February.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
There.
Yeah, it's been a while. So it's been a while, and that win against Gargano was convincing. Shout out to Finn Balor on that one, right? But
how we were praising that match when it happened.
Yeah, but Finn Balor versus Damian Priest, I got Finn Balor taking the W and stuff like that. Damian Priest this could be a moment for Damian Priest because you're going against Finn Balor now. You feel me? And like you got to showcase what you're truly worth. To me, in my opinion, for Damian Priest, this is the make it or break it match. If you fuck up in this match, it's a wrap for you.
He's not. Well, history has been good on his side lately. He's been churning out pretty damn good matches with everybody.
No. I'm not knocking on what he can't. I'm not knocking on what he could do. I'm saying for him to uplift his stature. This is Finn Balor. Okay, this is Finn Balor. If it was a Keith Lee, then fine. That's different. But we're talking about Finn Balor, who's in the same names as a Gargano, a Cole, a Dream, stuff like that. He's a main eventer. Okay? He's a main event guy. Damian Priest got to show out against Finn Balor. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. Finn Balor definitely has to take the W for this one. Only because it's Finn Balor. But yeah, I agree with everything that Ricardo says. If you cannot, Finn Balor is kind of like the Kenny Omega of WWE. There is not a match that he can't have where he doesn't make the person look good. Like, he will make even the laziest wrestler look like, oh shit, that's kind of a decent match because of what he does.
That's true.
So if you really, like, this is your moment to kind of get over, and if you kind of like fuck it up, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, no one's gonna look at you like, oh god, like, I need to see this guy. Like, this is your moment to make yourself look like you're a star and make the fans put you over.
Yeah, I mean, knowing Damian Priest and his talents and what he can bring to the table, I doubt it. He'll make the most of it.
Yeah, I'm with Ricardo on this one. Finn Balor gets the W. There's literally nothing else for me to say, honestly.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel blessed and touched that everyone is agreeing with this one. I am touched. Okay, I love you, Tara. I love you, Richard. I love you, Abba. I love that my points are getting across. I love you all. You know, the Haitian sensation thanks you.
Shut up, boy.
Not that awful nickname. Oh man.
What you mean that awful nickname? That's a beautiful nickname. The Haitian sensation, and it rhymes.
Nigga, please.
You a hater.
Oh man. We have Tommaso Ciampa going one-on-one against the debuting, well, not really debuting, but his first big true test in NXT, Karrion Kross. I've pretty much been singing the praises of Kross on NXT since he came in, that he will be a future main player for the brand and hopefully the company in the long run. Of course, like I said, this will be his first true test here in WWE, going up against one of the faces of NXT in Tommaso Ciampa. So I'm expecting a pretty good match here. And there's no reason for Kross to lose here, nor not come out of it looking dominant. And Tommaso will not lose anything from this, so he is my pick to win.
I got Kross to win, to be honest with you, because the thing is.
Well, you make it sound like I said Ciampa was going to win.
No. I don't mind you picking Ciampa.
No, I picked Kross, dude.
Oh, then again, you agree with me. Well, actually, I agree with you this time. But,
okay.
But I too have Kross because Ciampa got nothing to lose. Right? And it makes my point of what I said earlier about Finn Balor and Damian Priest. You see, despite Kross, he's known because of TNA. But the thing is, it's a different ballgame when you come to the big leagues in WWE. AEW. You're not really known until you're actually in the big stage,
yep.
Right? And the fact that, again, my point earlier about main event players, you're facing Tommaso Ciampa, arguably the heart and soul along with Gargano of NXT, right? Or yeah, exactly. I'm expecting a good match. If there was one sleeper match, it's this one. This is the sleeper match because we don't know that much about Kross because from TNA, and not a lot of people watch TNA, obviously. But like, this is the sleeper match that's in the NXT TakeOver in your house. I'm picking Kross to win because he has much more to gain than to lose. Kross is my pick.
Yeah, I will have to agree with Ricardo. Kross has a lot to prove, especially the fact that not only he's debuting at a TakeOver, you're debuting at a TakeOver against arguably the top name of the brand, arguably. If Ciampa loses, it won't hurt him because he could rebound onto the next one. Like, let's say Kross, like, my thing is, I want Kross to win. I want to say, like, what's going to be next for Kross once he wins? Like, what's next for him? That's the thing. But we will have to wait and see. But my pick is Kross.
I go with Kross, too.
Yeah. Straightforward as that. We have Charlotte Flair defending her NXT Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai in a triple
Go!
threat match. This could definitely steal the show, given how talented all three of these women are. They have the capability of doing so. This is basically a continuation of the Charlotte-Rhea Ripley feud we had going into WrestleMania, where Charlotte won the women's title from Rhea there in a pretty good match. And now you add someone like Io Shirai in the mix, and you're in for something special. I will say that much. Now, I don't know what WWE wants to do long-term with the women's title at NXT. Do they want to continue having Charlotte as the top female holding the championship heading into the summer months? Or do they want to change direction and give it to somebody else? Ultimately, I think they're going to play it safe, and they're going to have Charlotte retain here. And I think she is going to pin Io here to save Rhea face, so they can continue that storyline moving forward for an eventual one-on-one rematch between the two.
You see, you already know who I got. I got Goat Flair taking the W. And I emphatically agree with Abba. She's gonna pin Io Shirai to face her once again, to actually have a legit one-on-one contest for the title, right? Because despite Rhea Ripley's return, that don't mean jack shit to me. The real moneymaker is Io Shirai and Charlotte Flair, Goat Flair.
Okay, so you're saying the inverse of what I had mentioned, that they're going to have Charlotte pin Rhea in this match to retain and
No, I know.
to save Io
I
face.
agree with you. I have Charlotte pinning Io by making Io and Charlotte face each other again later on.
Well, that wouldn't make much sense, because if I would assume that if she's pinning one woman over the other in this match to retain, that she's going to face the other person that she didn't pin moving forward.
No, the reason why I said Io is because technically we truly never got a legitimate one-on-one contest with those two, right? And plus, the thing is, with Io Shirai, she could do more than Rhea Ripley to elevate the rivalry with Charlotte. It's been proven, because WWE has listened to me. Subtitles, okay? Like, with that promo that she...
Huge asterisk there, yeah, sometimes.
But whatever, right? With Io Shirai and Charlotte Flair, I would expect a fantastic match later on. I think that's what's going to happen. Charlotte retains by pinning Io. Io and Charlotte face each other later on for that belt.
I do see Charlotte retaining. I do, but at the same time, I will not be mad if Io wins. Even me, Ricardo had a discussion about this. He wouldn't mind if Io won, because like, it's been a long time coming since we want Io to be champion. We wanted her to be champion for a long ass time. And now, like, she's at TakeOver facing against Charlotte and Rhea Ripley in a triple threat match. Which is why...
So, let me ask you a question. So would you say you change your pick to Io Shirai because of that?
I could, yeah.
No, I'm saying, are you changing your pick? Because you said Charlotte before. But I'm asking you, are you changing your pick now to Io Shirai because she hasn't been champion, and you think her time has come?
Yes.
Okay.
Because like
your pick is
like all of us could agree, we want Io to be champion. It's been a long time.
I said Charlotte, but I do agree with you that I wouldn't mind if Io won.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we all want Io to be champion, because like, you can run a division around Io, hands down. Just like what they did with Rhea and just like they did with Shayna. Like, I want Io to be champion. Will I be surprised if Charlotte retains? No, I won't be surprised by that. Like, it's Charlotte Flair. Like, come on. Mm-hmm. But I do want Io to win.
It's June, right? I still see Charlotte retaining only because of this whole pandemic that's still going on. I don't see her giving it up until then. If she is giving it up, she's going back to the main roster. So I think until they're ready for that, I don't know what is going on in Raw or SmackDown. And
I think we all agree that this match should be in effect.
What is going on in Raw or SmackDown right now?
We talking about that.
They're still using Charlotte.
Look.
They're using Charlotte on both Raw and SmackDown.
To be honest with you,
unless there's a storyline for her to like go up that's when she's gonna lose the title. She's losing the title when they need her in Raw and SmackDown, like complete
Strictly, yeah.
Okay, check this out. I chose Charlotte because I feel like she can elevate the NXT Women's Division. Now, I will not discuss Raw or SmackDown in this podcast on this episode, okay? I know how you feel about Charlotte. It's okay. It's okay. You're pissed off at Vince for like a minute. I feel you, right? But I am not talking about Raw or SmackDown on this podcast on this episode, okay? And when I was back to what I was saying, I think we all agree that this match should main event TakeOver. This match.
Can I be honest with you, man?
Yeah.
I don't think it will.
All right, so get to the AEW World Title and let me roast you. Hurry up.
Okay, man. Okay. But yeah, everyone gave their thoughts on that match. And finally, we do have what I assume will be the main event. Just from the circumstances. Just from the circumstances of the match, of the implications of the match. Like what we're going to see out of it. And that's Adam Cole against Velveteen Dream in a backlot brawl for the NXT Championship. I believe this is going to be the first backlot brawl we've seen in WWE since WrestleMania 12 in 1996.
Yep.
So it's been a long while. They have already shot this match sometime last week outside the venue, so they're good to go on that. As for who is winning here, I think it all depends on what they have planned for both Cole and Dream and their future. Excuse me. If they have plans for either to go to the main roster soon, and it's likely, and it is likely, I should say, given the reports are going around of numerous NXT talent planning to get sent to either Raw or SmackDown soon, then I could see the other person winning here. It could go either way, but I do think Adam Cole is ultimately winning and retaining the title.
Okay. First of all, Richie, you ready? You're comfortable?
Talk.
Okay, cool. Okay, Tara, are you comfortable?
I'm waiting for you.
Awesome.
Yeah, talk. Dude.
First of all, it's a parking lot brawl. Okay? It's parking lot brawl. I would never discuss on how they say it. That's so stupid to me. It's parking lot brawl. Okay? That's number one. Number two, I want to ask all you guys a question. Do you think that this match between Cole and Dream needs to be a parking lot brawl? Yes or no answer. Do you think so?
No.
No? Abba, Tara?
I don't care.
Okay, cool.
I would have said that too, but
the reason why this match does not, if I had to pick a winner, I'm picking Dream, right? Because it's time. Adam Cole needs to lose that title. I love Dream, but he needs to lose it. Now, the reason why I think this will
Cole, but he needs to lose it. You said Dream.
No, I said I'm picking Dream. Adam Cole needs to lose it.
Oh.
Right? The reason why this match does not deserve to be the main event of the match is because the storyline has been lacking. The storyline has been decrepit. Adam Cole has not been there specific weeks, and it's been not entertaining. Okay, it hasn't been entertaining. There hasn't been any cachet towards the whole rivalry. Right? It has grasped our attention that it deserves. Right? It's too little, too late on why this match deserves to be main event. It does not deserve to be the main event of the show. We've been saying it for weeks that it does not, because we all agreed at certain past episodes that it does not deserve to be the main event. The only reason, Abba, that I feel like you're picking it to be the main event is because A, it's a parking lot brawl, and B, it's going to be cinematic. I understand why you say that, but it does not deserve it because of the lack.
I'm not arguing with you there.
Yeah,
you are definitely right on the money. It does not deserve it.
If I think that WWE is going to put it there, though, because
I could see them doing it, and I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I just hope and pray that it's not the main event. I really hope and pray.
Dude, honestly, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter. It's going to be the main event. It's going to be the main event. Whether we like it or not, it's going to be the main event.
Dude, not for nothing, the match order, how they're going to do this show tomorrow night, it doesn't matter in the quality of the show to me. It's a takeover show. It'll still be enjoyable.
All right.
It's whatever.
Wait, this is the first. I'm sorry, Tyler. This is the first takeover since then, right? Since coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they got a big deal. They better ball out.
We'll see. That's why interest is kind of very fluctuating right now. It's very mixed.
Are they gonna have a full crowd?
I think they're going to have their PC talent play the crowd like they have been the past 2 weeks now. Yeah,
What you think?
everyone
Yeah, we'll
else,
see. We'll
everyone else
see.
gave their thoughts, right, on who's winning.
No, I said Cole. I mean,
You
I
said Dream.
Sorry, I said Dream.
For me, I will also have to say Dream. I would have to say Dream as well because it's time. But if Adam Cole retains, then he retains. Like, shit.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Like I could see Dream winning too, but I'm ultimately going to go with Cole. Maybe they're going to have him hold out on doing a title change with him until when the coronavirus pretty much everything goes back to normal.
I want to say this. I want your take on this, all of you, right? I discussed this with Richard yesterday, but I want to see your opinion. I want to ask your opinion based on what I'm about to say. NXT TakeOver in your house. I am no way saying that NXT TakeOver in your house is going to be trash. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that, like, if NXT TakeOver in your house doesn't deliver in the same aspect as AEW just passed Double or Nothing, I will say that this war is over.
Dude, don't look at it like that. You're still looking at it like it's a proper war.
No, hold up. Technically, it is because there's a reason why AEW specifically chose Wednesday to compete with NXT. That's a war.
Well, guess what? You perceive it as a war. It's not really a war to me.
Look, that's you. That's you. But the thing is, to AEW and WWE and to Triple H and Cody Rhodes, it is. Because you're competing for viewership and you're competing for ratings. Okay? They're doing it like that. Because AEW did a fantastic job of adapting to what's going on with the coronavirus epidemic. In terms of WWE, not so much. They could resurrect it in terms of NXT, in terms of this takeover. They could resurrect themselves based on the lack of attention that's been given to NXT as of late. They could resurrect themselves this Sunday. If they fail, due to what happened, and I'm not saying NXT TakeOver is going to be trash because I don't think it will be trash. I just think they need to have the same stature and entertainment as AEW did, or even better. That's what they have to do. What y'all think about what I said? What do you think?
You can't say that it's going to be over. That's the one thing I completely disagree with you. Like, you're acting like,
dude, like, you never know. NXT could have a huge rebound.
You're seriously acting like if this takeover fails, like, oh, it's done. No, like that's what you're basically saying right now. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen after takeover. We don't know what's gonna happen like in the next takeover in August and stuff like that. So you can't really say that. That's the thing. Do I think it's going to be over? Hell no. Because, like, to some degree, you're underestimating NXT right now.
No, I think he's just getting on NXT's case because of their recent dip in quality.
He's getting on NXT's case because of, like, what's going on in the ratings and stuff like that and the productivity.
They haven't been bringing any heat recently.
Wait, say again?
They haven't been bringing any heat recently.
Exactly.
There you go. It's like they haven't even been trying.
The matches here aren't even that, like, oh
it's
my
not even
God,
a feeling.
I need to see this right now. Like,
exactly.
I mean, at AEW's thing, like, there was a match we were like, I want to see that. I need to see that.
Exactly.
Like, I can't miss that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
the reason why I said that is because like look what happened all over, right? The NBA was temporarily canceled. The NFL was thinking about doing it. Soccer, baseball, whatever, right? Wrestling decided not to cancel and continue to move on, right? So the fact that they continue to move on, specifically to NXT and AEW, there are no excuses. You got no excuse, right? But the fact that NXT has been lackluster in terms of entertainment value and its wrestling is the reason why we should bring up these questions on why I say the war is going to be over because of the NXT's results. Because WWE has been failed to adapt towards the coronavirus epidemic, whereas AEW has adapted and has successfully been working as of late. All right, as of right now, AEW is the best brand in wrestling by far because of its adaptability, because of coronavirus, because it has shown you as a company, no matter the circumstances, they are still able to succeed, while we look at WWE's circumstances that they are not able to succeed based on circumstances because they had fell back based on the circumstances that has been going on around the world. And that's why I'm coming at NXT. Yeah, you're silent, aren't you, Richard? There you go. Exactly. Because you didn't think about it that way. That's why I'm going at NXT, because nobody has truly looked at NXT as something that needs to be competed against. Because now it has competition. Almost similar to the Monday Night Wars. Or because now it's Wednesday, so it's whatever. But like,
dude, your stance is understood. At least for me, I get it. I get exactly where you're coming from. But yeah, those are our predictions for TakeOver in your house. It should be an enjoyable show. We're not sure as of right now whether we plan to do a separate review for the show the day after, like we always do. Just based on what our plans are. But if we do, it will be up sometime Monday afternoon. And we'll wrap it up here for episode 21 of Wrestling Hypothesis. Thank you guys for listening to the show as always. Like I said just now, unsure what our plans are going with doing a separate review for TakeOver. But just in case, be sure to subscribe over on our YouTube channel to make sure that you don't miss out on that, in case we do. If not, though, we will see you all next Saturday, and we'll give our condensed thoughts on the show for episode 22. And until then, have a good one, guys.
Take care.
Peace out.